What's going on, YouTube? Earth Power here with CVH,
How's it going, everybody?
and we are back with another match in the top 8 of Season Two's bracket tournament. Trying to find the best deck. The decks we have for you today: Water, Fire, Nature, Tempo versus Light, Water, Fire, Rush. The winner of this goes on to face Water, Fire, Rush in the top 4. Um, both of these decks, one of them just absolutely annihilated Hydrus to Odit last we saw it.
It's
Yeah,
true.
and
And one of them
Water Fire
absolutely
Nature,
annihilated deck out.
a deck
Wow.
out deck. Yeah, yeah. Tempo got its redemption after Phantomac tore it up in season 1, and after seeing Phantomac lose in the match right above us uh, a couple of days ago, I think Water Fire Nature, or excuse me, yeah, Water Fire Nature Tempo's itching to make it through this tournament. So we'll
Yeah.
see how it does today.
Both these decks are pretty aggressive, and they're going to be moving on. The winner is going to be moving on to face yet another aggressive deck in
Yeah.
the top 4. So kind of an aggro meta, you know?
Yeah, I mean the only true, I mean, it's anything that wasn't aggressive was, or a tempo deck, was Foul and Phantomac. Um, Phantomac could even be kind of uh, identified as, just kind of a mid-range aggressive deck. But yeah, with Foul being the only control deck in the top half of this bracket,
It was
it's pretty.
destiny.
It was almost, yeah, destined to have this kind of top 8, top 4 showing.
Yeah. Well, Spencer's
But
on Light
shout
Water
outs,
Fire, which is. Oh, wait, what were you
yeah.
going to shout out? I was going to shout out Garabon and his brother. They love that deck.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And Spencer
absolutely.
actually has really enjoyed the idea of Light Water Fire too. You could go back and watch the deck profile on this channel. He was pretty enthusiastic about playing Tulks on turn 1, which he's doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not only am I stoked about the Spellground you helped me find
No
and
prob.
get, so we could feature in this top 8 and in future matches on the channel, but I found my old Duelmaster.com sleeves with Earthstomp, which I double sleeved and just felt that it was fitting to sleeve up Water Fire Nature in, since it's now actually featuring Earthstomp.
Yeah, Carl's got those outer sleeves. KMC and Dragon Shield make sleeves that can go over top of your sleeves if you have 20-year-old sleeves that might disintegrate if you shuffle them too hard.
Absolutely. And these will and are at least. But what we weren't talking about were the first couple of turns of this match. Spencer opened about as ideal as possible, and I somehow had the turn 2 answer to Tolk in Emerald.
I
Um,
wonder what you put down. Do you think it might have been
yeah,
an Aqua Surfer or an Emerald? I mean, sorry, it could even be another Emerald now.
I get it. They can't see our faces, but I'm losing it.
Yeah.
Um, no, Emerald. I'm very positive I put down a Surfer. Um, but yeah, no. So uh, Tolk here, I'm just on the race game. At this point, like, I think I've got him scared enough to where he didn't break the first shield with Tolk, which I think is correct, unfortunately. Like, he breaks that one shield with Tolk.
Just because
I get
Emerald.
to I get to immediately crack back with Emerald,
Yeah.
and then I mean, his turn 2 play, again, while ideal, if I play a turn 2 creature this turn in Ganta, I basically get to clear his board, and he's out of creatures and steam, and I'm down to
Yeah. No, I think he's
1 to
played
2
it.
shields.
I think he's
Oh,
played it right so far. And but now
right.
breaking 4 shields is pretty legit.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, playing
yeah.
the speed attacker this turn allows him in this line, because again, he knows I'm not playing blockers, so you can just kind of dirtle for the first couple of turns, if you will. Um, and basically get to the same point that he would be at had he been attacking one at a time, or two at a time rather. And now I can only clear 2 creatures, and he still has 2 plus, the potential of another speed attacker, or just whatever else he can play next turn for momentum. Keep creatures on the board, and yeah, put me in a very bad spot, so, which I seem to be in right now.
Yeah. That Aqua Surfer sitting down there looming. Spencer knows he's
Yeah,
gonna have to get past at least one shield trigger.
right.
And your
Yeah,
play is
so I'm,
Bronze Arm into a nothing.
yeah, into a Ganta, which was unfortunate because I think I had the Quixotic, um,
Yeah, dang.
or whatever the turn 2 play was
The
that I
old
didn't tap
BAT
for.
Brick
So
Arm Tribe.
yeah, so Yeah, he has the other speed attacker. Looks like I put down Spiral Gate, but yeah, just wasn't enough to get there. Really
Wow.
needed a lot of help and needed to race. So
A blisteringly fast game one. I mean, Spencer was on the draw, which is not what he would like to see, but the deck played to its strengths, and he got to play a bunch of one drops early. And yeah, I mean, even though he couldn't attack turn two like he would normally want to do, the fact that he was able to play two more one drops and then follow up with a speed attacker just was too explosive.
yeah, yeah. This, I mean, my Waterfire Nature is on that same plan that I think Phantomac was versus Waterfire, where I'm never going to stabilize against Lightwater Fire Rush. I'm never going to. So the whole point is to play my deck like a rush deck, take a favorable trade if I can find it, but otherwise I'm just playing to race and hoping to let the Soul Swap Jagalzor or the double Pyro on 6 get me there with a little bit of ramp while kind of picking away at shields. So, that's the game plan for tempo changes when it's up against these rush decks, and a lot of things have to break right. And unfortunately, in that game, the only trigger I had was the one I put down in Spiral Gate, and just wasn't enough.
Man, Spencer must be feeling good here. He even handed your deck back to you on your own mat and correctly
I think it's because
oriented.
I gave crap for it.
That's fair. Wow. Okay,
No,
so
yeah,
he's on the draw,
no
but
turn one
misses the
play.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and the only ones the
Oh,
deck has
geez.
is Deadly Fighter and Toll,
You
but
miss
him
your
missing
two.
his one. Yeah, I needed Nature Mana, didn't find it. I put Jagalzor down with hopes of holding on. I want to say that I held on to the Rebirth
No,
because I think that was gonna
there's
be
no way. Nah, no. I'm
so.
pretty sure if you had Rebirth, you definitely would put it down first, right?
I think so because I can't remember if I drew it that turn. But
You had
yeah,
to have
I mean,
drawn it.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause I can't think. I know, and maybe I'm thinking of other games, but
Because I know that you know how important it is to not miss turn two against Rush.
yeah, absolutely. So
Granted, he does have just a Farzi, a lone little Farzi.
yeah, I did find my clean nature mana the turn following though in Quixotic. Um, but yeah, now that I'm off my two, I think ideally I just want to play both next turn. Gauntlet Quixotic if I can find another nature mana, and then hope to find swap to get to that Jagalzor.
Yep.
Hopefully, just race him and beat him because I think that play maths out. If I break with Holkus next turn, play two creatures, swap into Jagalzor the following turn, I think I can win. Maybe I need Pyro in there, but
Yeah, you're the one sort of dictating the pace. He's just going to play the Dismantler and not go in. We decided that not going in was probably right here, and he's trying to just set up to play two creatures next turn. But yeah, the problem with every card that Spencer's playing is that it's just going to be ridiculously tiny, just because the
yeah.
deck is full of very, very tiny creatures.
No.
So,
And here I am playing into the line that I think I would have correctly made. Yeah. So drew into another Quixotic, which is good. Needed that nature mana so I could play Ganta and the other Quixotic. So things are looking up for old Lightwater Fire Tempo.
no, they're not.
Yeah, you
You're playing
do
Water,
it now.
Fire, Nature. You said they're looking up for Light, Water, Fire.
Lightwater Fire.
Spencer's not looking good right here. He's looking.
I my brain turns to goo when I start talking about civilizations
You
in the
just
decks.
start
Just
everything with light.
yeah, not.
uh,
But yeah, no. Spencer seems deep in the tank. You and him are both talking about
yeah, his hand is
plays
rough.
to be made here.
It's a couple weak twos. He's got a Lucky Ball, which is like not doing anything right now. An Aquahulkus, which is doing slightly better, but still not a lot. The deck, like, no rush deck can really play from behind, but Light Water Fire looks especially bad when it's playing from behind because not only is it not winning, but like all of its stuff is really small. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's Hulk,
small and or expensive.
Aquahulkus, yeah,
Yeah, Volcano Charger, which yeah. So I think and
arrows,
that
but
was
yeah,
maybe the conversation of like, do we
yeah,
Volcano Charger a card?
yeah.
Um,
But it doesn't. We came to the conclusion it doesn't really help him too much because it like gets rid of the creature that would break, but then it destroys one of your own shields. So it's not really usually
I think
helping him too much here.
I think the fact that he could play 2 creatures here means he breaks 2 shields here. Like, I don't know if passing there is correct. Um,
It's interesting.
breaking 2 shields forces me to potentially take, the favorable trade unless I can set up a win this turn, and I can't. So, I basically get to play 2 more creatures safely and just set up to win the game the next turn.
Well,
So
you're not wrong, but if he broke and let's say you couldn't kill him, which you couldn't, you would have taken the trades. You'd be down to 3 shields. He'd have 2 on board.
right, but
He
that
would
gives
need
him,
double speed
with
attacker at 5, which is
right,
impossible.
but with all the draw, like Lucky Ball and a second creature, and then me still not being able to kill him this turn,
Oh no, you would have been able to
you
though,
know,
because you would have
right,
played more creatures anyway.
having 2 creatures is ideally worst case scenario. In retrospect, I think it makes sense, but in the moment, I think breaking that turn would have just been more correct than not.
Potentially. Interesting. I could see. I mean, I don't know what his last card in hand is. I could see maybe waiting this turn, but yeah, I think
Yeah, see Spiral Gate here, which is great.
if you're trying to win with Jagalzor this turn, you probably bounce the blocker. But Farzi
Yeah,
can
and
still attack.
that's the conversation I'm having in my head right now, because I'm trying to find a way I can save 2 shields, not
Oh
be dead
yeah.
on board.
So I
Oh,
did mention that
Spencer,
he should have done it like that.
right, right, yeah, for sure. So we get the attack ordering correct, but yeah. So uh, it's tough here because ideally I want to protect both shields, but still make the Solgala not relevant, and I'm not sure that it is. I think it just gives me the one extra attack this turn, um, to deal with things. And I can clear his board, which I think is the reason why I go this direction. 'Cause I don't think I'm dead on board unless he has double fast attacker. He has 2 cards in hand and only 1 fire mana, so I'm banking on the fact that I can just clear his board and
Well,
he
yeah, he
can't win
literally
the following turn.
can't
Yeah.
double speed attacker period because one of the cards is Tulk. So even if the other one's Pyro, if he draws another Pyro, he can't play them both.
Well, okay, so I think he has 3 in hand if I bounce the Tolk back. But yes, you're right. The idea is still the same. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah,
but
I
also
found all my Gantas this turn.
I
This
could
game.
understand being nervous about a lethal just because Light Water Fire does have 10 shield triggers, 4 gates, 4 volcanic arrows, and 2 Kalan.
Yeah, and that's the other side of that. If I had to race, I could, but I don't think I have to. Um, so just playing the double Ganta here feels right. Um,
Maybe we're thinking about it.
yeah, sure am.
Let's
What did
find
I
out.
play in mana this turn? I wasn't paying attention, but
I was also
yeah, I
not.
think I might have already been at 6. But either way, I get to clear a board, which is great.
Yep. He does get a
Yeah,
gate back, which is like meh, probably a
yeah,
little
kind of cool.
inconsequential.
Yeah, part of me I think wants to think about breaking this shield here just to put him down one more, but I don't think the numbers
I
matter.
mean, it's kind of interesting,
So
right? Because now with the gate, he can like bounce a thing, use Soul Gala to kill Hulkus, and then you're gonna be down to 4 creatures again next turn, which is like kind of the same situation. We're kind of back to
right,
like trying to kill him and not hit a Kolon to tap Jagalzor.
right. But I think that's ideally what I want him to do because I have Jagalzor in hand. I think I'm
Oh no
fine
no,
with him.
yeah.
Right,
I'm just saying it probably gets to the same spot we were in last turn,
right.
where you're still exactly that likely to kill him. He's not even gonna trade. He's just going for it.
And I found Soul Swap, which is
Now he's like
Surfer,
very
I
dead.
believe. Yeah. I think I just soul swapped my Bronze Arm Tribe, hit Surfer, bounces Tolk back,
Yeah.
and then yeah. And then I think I just go from there.
Now at this
Yeah.
point, he is down to Tolkien a random card, so we know that he can't double speed attacker. So I think setting up and
Right.
killing Gala and passing is totally fine.
Yeah. I'm hoping that's do here.
because he
but
literally will not be like. There's no combination of cards you could have that would kill you. So
I've been known to attack prematurely before. So
I think, however, it's not double Gauntlet. I think it's play Jagalzor and pass after killing, because that's more mana efficient. And when you play the Gauntas, they'll get speed attacker from the Jagalzor. Uh
yeah, here we go. There it is. There it is. Yeah, wasn't afraid of the the volcanic
Yeah.
arrows. So if that,
Yeah.
yeah, I was afraid of volcanic arrows on the first shield and none after. So as Spiral Gate would have been meh, but
Wouldn't it have
yeah,
saved him?
it wouldn't have saved him. But if
No, I
I had
mean,
given him the fire mana and the fast and the speed attacker, then yes.
oh yeah, that's what I meant.
So
Yeah.
yeah, what are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
I mean, you
So
had like maybe 96% out of just, pulling
yeah,
that number out of my
yeah.
butt. But
I still don't think I mean, that was the only situation I was dead on board. I had to give him
yeah.
the exact pieces in one shield.
Yeah, all
So,
I'm saying is if we wait a turn and then play double Ganta, there's literally
it's
no
yeah,
stopping
yeah.
us.
Not 96 turns to 99 and yeah,
Yeah.
we're all there. Yeah,
Well,
for
there
sure.
would be
Yeah.
some stopping us there because maybe Jagalzor does a thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, if he volcanic arrows the
Yeah.
Jagals on the first shield, that stinks. But
Yeah.
I'm still not dead. I'm still just kind of dirtling for another turn.
It's funny
Um,
though, because like in the moment, none of us probably thought about that. I don't
yeah.
remember that even being a discussion of like, well, if play Jagalzor and pass, because it just seems so counterintuitive.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at that point, I'm just again win before I lose. But if he only had two cards in hand and they weren't fast attackers, the only thing I could think of as to why he wouldn't have played him the following turn. But
There are zero
again,
fast attackers in this deck, and also in this game.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nothing.
I had it right in Tuesday's match. I
You got to put a
somehow
post-it note on
reverted.
your monitor. It just says
Yeah,
speed
absolutely.
attacker.
Put it on my forehead.
No, you won't be able to read it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
with
Spencer's
the
on
note
the
just says big dumb dumb.
it's on the play for the first time, but does not have a one
Yeah,
drop. Oh god, and he shows we were showing our hand, but we're doing it really quickly. He
yeah.
actually misses his turn
Just
2 play this game.
Yeah, he misses his light man on turn one, and he doesn't have a two.
Yeah, and he has
And
the Tulk
so,
still, but still can't find light. Not that Tulk is the 2 drop you want to play, but yeah, that
no,
is
yeah,
he's finally on the play exactly where he wants to be, and then drew the worst that Lightwater Fire has drawn so far in this tournament.
yeah, and I'm just
You miss your 2
feeling
too. This
great.
is like a battle of the worst hands you've ever seen.
So I had Spiral Gate, which I was very well prepared to use. But when
Oh
he
boy.
didn't play a
Oh
creature,
my god.
no effect. What a savage. Oh man, yeah. So I didn't have to play the Hulkus in mana. So now I get to play the Spiral Gate down, play the Hulkus as my turn three, and because he broke a Surfer, things are just going my way. And if
All
you're
right,
wondering,
so no bounce
if you're
makes sense,
wondering what
right?
I was teasing a few days ago, go back and watch the last video. This is where I start to get real arrogant.
You could have just you could have bounced and started smacking with that surfer, right? That's not like probably as good, but
Yeah,
it is a
I
thing. Like what's he
I
gonna do?
mean,
Play it again?
at that point, I mean, my hand is the Pyro. I have an Earth Stomp, and I didn't have the Quixotic until I drew with the Hulkus.
Okay.
So I didn't really have a follow-up play for momentum. So yeah, since he hadn't played anything for 3 turns, I was very comfortable not bouncing that, killing it, and saying, "Hey, if he just doesn't have plays, that's great for me because I can continue to dirtle. I can try to get Earth Stomp on board here in the next turn or two, and yeah, take it from there."
Yep. It looks like he has the Tulk, the Spiral Gate, Pyrofighter, and something I can't see. It looks like it's another speed attacker, another dismantler.
Yeah,
So yeah, he is just on the
just pick
attack
them off one at
plan.
a time. I mean, if he can ideally win the game in 4 turns because there's literally nothing my deck can do except for swap it out if he hits one. So
Yeah, I
he's
mean,
it's not a bad game plan. If I can't win in 4 turns, he will.
still, you'd really like to have a
Yeah,
creature on board at this stage of the
absolutely.
game.
Yeah, absolutely. So double pig here. I think if I'm smart, I attack here.
I
Think I
would
break 2
probably.
shields. Yeah,
I think
think that makes sense. Come on.
the only shield trigger creature is
Come on,
Kolan,
past me. Yeah.
and there's only
And
two of them.
I think that's the conversation we just had, which is like, okay, it's a 2 of. If I hit one, nah, it's not really gonna trade with anything. Um, so I think I'm fine to swing here. So, and I have the best turn 5 play in this matchup, which is Searing Wave. So
Yeah,
if he does decide he wants to mount a little army here um, of more than 1 or 2 creatures,
and I think
Searing
that's
Wave
the
ideally
idea.
could be it.
I think Spencer
Yeah, and
uses
I
this
get
turn to load the board, and then next turn he has to survive via a Spiral Gate or Kolan, or maybe Last Shield Volcanic Arrows, and then double speed attacker to try to win the following turn.
yeah, and it looks like I gave him all of his ones and the pyro. And yeah, he
Interesting, yeah.
takes me off of lethal on board, which is making sense.
And then he's got the double speed attacker to present lethal next turn, unless you have Searing Wave.
Trying to think if I play it here. Yeah, okay, I do. Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Because again, if you don't hit Kalan, even double speed attacker is not gonna win the game for him.
Right. And again, volcanic arrows I'm not afraid of at all. So
You're debating on breaking the last shield.
yeah, because single shield, if he can't clear one creature, because I have pyro in hand. I think I might have the okay. I put one pyro down, so I have one pyro in hand. So one single trigger, if he can't clear 2 creatures next turn, doesn't matter. And I'm trying to decide if it's worth just giving him the shield, and it's not. So I think I pass here. Yeah, because I'm just math in my head says just it doesn't matter here. So move on.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Um,
I
yeah,
just don't see him able to clear 2 creatures. And that being
he's
said, Pyro Volcanic Arrows does nothing for him here. And I think I
because
still wanted to make that card dead if it was in hand. And he would need Spiral Gate and
yeah, Pyro.
Pyro.
So Spiral Gate,
Yeah,
Pyro, Tulk is the only line that he could play that keeps him alive with your hand, and also maybe gives him lethal next turn.
right. And it's
And that's
not
just a
even
lot.
necessarily alive.
Yeah, he needs a trigger
He's
again.
not dead on board, but he needs a trigger. So, and that's if he can clear 2. And I think again
Well, he
that's
would
at
be dead
least
on
the
board.
logic for not
He
breaking
needs
that
a
last
trigger.
shield there.
Yeah,
And that
and
trigger needs to be well, no, I guess it can be arrows. Yeah.
but he also
Arrows
doesn't
is the
know
logic.
that you have Pyro, so he might just be trying
Correct.
to kill one thing and rely on the shield trigger.
Right.
So now, because you have the speed attacker, there's literally no out in his deck.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to find a way to get Earth Stomp on the board because I
Play it
just
now.
wanted that
Live
card
your
to see play.
dreams.
Yeah, so I was just trying to figure out how I could flex, but
Earthstop
the
giant classic anti-rush card.
the option's not there. So yeah, yeah. Oh, I had the
The
yeah.
rebirth?
So no trigger. I had the rebirth, so I could have rebirthed his Hulkus to see if I had the pyro to flex, but yeah, and
Oh
I
yeah,
did, but I
if you had
wasn't
missed,
gonna.
that would have
I
been
was
awful.
yeah, that would have been terrible. That would have been the worst throw if he had had a trigger. So that's the game. Water, fire, nature, tempo takes it over the rush deck. Had I
Yeah.
and again, this was another match I was dreading coming into the top 8 because I was like, God, Water, Fire, Nature, was able to beat up on Deck Out, which I think was just the assumed outcome of that match. But coming into the Rush matchup, I was mortified. I was like, well, this is it for another Water, Fire, Nature tempo run, and here we go. My favorite deck is going to go down again. But a good server right on time to clear his
Yeah.
dismantle there in game 3 after what may just be the worst opening of any rush deck we've seen thus far
Yeah,
in
I
any
mean,
of these brackets.
your opening sucked too. That's the thing. It's like the
Yeah.
surfer did a lot, but his draws were so bad, but like your draws were so bad. It was just
Yeah,
those first two
and
turns were rough.
again, I would have had Spiral on 2. I could have at least
Yeah, oh
bounced
yeah,
the
yeah,
2
yeah.
drop
Yeah.
and kept it going. I had the
It's
pig to follow up
it's
with the turn
Spencer's fault you
after.
didn't have plays.
But
It's
yeah,
true.
but yeah, no, the line would have looked much different, but I did have plays, I guess, for lack of seeing any of it because we didn't need them.
Yeah.
But yeah, light. What? Light. Always start with light. Water, Fire, Nature, Tempo moves on to the top four to face off against Water, Fire, Rush, uh, the more, I guess, in a sense, consistent version of the deck we just watched, Water,
Yeah.
Fire, Nature, Tempo beat. So yeah, continuing to be mortified. Will Water, Fire, Nature, Tempo make it to the finals, or will Water, Fire, Rush do what Water, Fire, Rush does and
And win despite
r-
people thinking it
just
won't.
rip it apart? Yeah, no, Water, Fire, Rush is. I mean, I think ideally, right, this would be the matchup Water, Fire, Rush wants
Yeah,
versus playing against another Rush deck that could possibly get under it.
I think
I mean,
so.
the one thing, yeah, well, the one thing Water, Fire, Rush doesn't want to play against is a lot of dudes, like boards that can go wide way before turn four. So, um,
But before
yeah, so
y'all
I think,
see that, we're gonna take it slow and do something completely different and see a mana burn mirror match.
yeah, yeah, stay tuned, guys. So this weekend, we teased it at the end of the last video. This weekend, we will be posting Christian and I ranked sets 1 through 12, DM's base set all the way through Thrash of the hybrid mega creatures. And you will get to see that and watch that if you're into a more longer podcasty video. And then we will get back to top eight matches next week, following the same format, Tuesday and Thursday, as we gear into the semifinals, into the bronze and finals match to take us towards the end of the month. So stay tuned for all of that. Like Christian mentioned, Light Water Dark Nature Mana Burn versus Light Fire Nature Turbo Burn. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. We should
Ugh.
really just train. I guess is
Yeah.
what I should be
Well,
doing.
you're
But
looking at
yeah,
the bracket, right?
absolutely, and I'm
Okay,
still
yeah.
struggling. Yeah,
My
so
God.
for lack of continuing to ramble, yeah, mana burns are playing against each other next week. Stay
Yeah.
tuned. Leave a like, comment down below. Let us know what you think of this
Hmm.
match and what you guys are excited to see. Who you think's gonna make it through and win this whole thing. I'm interested to know what you guys think. Till
Me
next
too.
time, guys.
Peach.
Peach.